Yeah. Welcome back to another episode of the Escapism podcast. Of course, this is your man, Apollo Brown. And with me this time around is none other than, I'm not even going to say his name yet. He's a friend of mine. We just got off the road, a month and a half ago, touring. Amazing MC out of Chicago. One of the best you ever heard. I only mess with the best. Yo, good friend of mine, Philmore Greene is in the house. What up, man? What's going on with you?
My brother. Thank you for having me, man.
Hey, I had to have you, bro. Pause. But hey, hey, the people want to know. So I'm gonna get into a lot of the stuff that the people want to know, stuff that I want to know. Of course, I'm still new at this, so I'm still trying to figure this whole thing out myself. Like I said on the last pod, I've been on many. And I've kind of taken this from that and this from that. And I'm trying to figure it out myself as a host. So, bear with me. But we're going to get this going, man. We're going to get this going. So, first thing, man, is, let's just give us a brief background of how you got started, bro. Like what was it? What year was it? What made you want to get into hip hop, bro?
Man, it had to be about my 7th grade year elementary school. I fell in love with music. I started listening to music. I've been listening to music since I was about, since I was 8, 9 years old.
That was about 1982, 83?
Nah, brother. Nah, that's you.
Man. Hey, I'm a little gray, but it's all good, man. Go ahead.
It's the 90s, man. It's the 90s, So I started listening to music when I was 8, 9 years old. My aunts used to play it around the house, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the art, the drums, the scratches and everything. And as I grew older, I connected with people. I started jotting down words. I started off copying down lyrics, writing lyrics. Press play, pause, writing the lyrics and reciting them back. And then I was like, one day, let me do this myself, man. Let me give this a shot. It was Trashington.
Hey, yo, who was it though? Who was it that made you, what was, you do you remember the song, the album? What made you want to jump off the porch?
Moment of Truth.
Okay.
Moment of Truth, 1998.
Okay.
I was in 8th grade. Moment of Truth was it. I heard the scratches. Man. I heard Guru's approach. Rest in peace, Guru. Cream's scratches and the beats and the whole concept of that album. It was so complete to where as though I was like, man, I want to do this. This is what I want my music to sound like, and I'm gonna get better at this.
You're right. So, top 5 album of all time. You're right.
All time, man.
You're right.
It was Moment of Truth, and then you go, 98, 99, 2000. 2001, 2001-ish, that's when Supreme Clientele dropped. Another phenomenal album. We talk about this all the time. That's one of the albums I'm chasing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely. I see Supreme Clientele is probably my second favorite album of all time.
It has to be. It's in my top 3. It's sonically, the samples, the beats, the mixes. Everything about that album was in its bag, man. It was on another level. So when that came out, I was in high school when that came out, but it definitely pushed me to the next level to really say, man, I want to take this serious. And once I started doing that, I started clicking up with a few friends, and we got to it. I got with my Off the Block crew, independent label from the west side of Chicago. We formed, and we had rap boot camp, man. We used to rap every day, go to the studio every day, and really push each other. Just last month, Cam said something about my man Philly on his show.
I saw that. Yeah, I was gonna hit you up when I saw that.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
I found some Philly records, man. He said something about Philly on his show. Philly was Future and Drake before we knew Future and Drake, but he was West Side Chicago. He was rough, he was gritty. They used to, my man Duke and Ted, they used to take Philly to the studio. They used to take him to the studio to record everything he wrote just in case he got locked up over the summer. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So those guys, they pushed me a lot, and they pushed me to really become who I am today, man. And I'm forever in debt with a few people. You were one of them, and there are a few people too, man. So off the block, man. I just started, man. It was Chicago, bro. It was Chicago. This city did something to me, bro, and I just
Yeah,
had to write about it. I
yeah,
had to write
yeah.
about it, man.
I mean, it's so similar to Detroit, man. So I mean, it's,
Yeah, yeah,
sister city, so similar to Detroit. When it
yeah.
comes to, that's one of the questions I was going to ask you later on. But kind of what is it about Chicago that just breeds timeless artists, man? And I feel like fluff doesn't come out of Chicago. There's no fluff.
You can't come with fluff here. They gonna let it be known. It's similar to Detroit, man. One thing I like
Yeah,
about Detroit, one of many things I love about Detroit is that y'all hold each other in high regard. You know what
absolutely,
I'm
bro.
saying? You can't come with, I don't know if can I talk how I want?
Absolutely, bro.
Okay. You can't come with weak shit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely not. Yeah, man.
From the beach to the rhymes, you can't come with weak shit or you ain't getting on that stage. I saw a clip with y'all. It was years back, man. I don't want to let the people know how old Apollo Brown is. You know what I'm saying? You were sitting on the stage and it was like, you remember the clip? You were sitting on the stage and somebody else was up there. I think, I don't want to name names and name the wrong names, but you were sitting down on the fucking stage was on top of bricks.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
absolutely, bro.
that
Yeah.
alone just let me know how serious y'all were. But it's just like Chicago, man. You couldn't come with that fluff. You really had to bring it. And once you came with what you had, man, you had to go around the city, letting your shit be known, battling cats, battling crews. But it wasn't like a New York battle. It was just like, this is what we do. This is what block we from, and we here to stay. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, it's all about checks and balances, bro.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? We're not yes men for each other.
It's
If
no
it's whack,
judgment in
if
there.
it's whack, we're gonna let them know and be like, yo, you need to come harder. You need to come better than that.
Back then,
Whether it's rhymes or whether it's a beat, it doesn't matter.
you gotta bring it. You gotta bring it. Back in the off the block days, we used to share blocks of studio time. This was real rap boot camp. We used to share blocks of studio time, and you couldn't get in the booth if you didn't have enough songs. So within that week, we would try to pin the most songs, and whoever had the most records, they got in the booth the most.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
we had to fight to get in there. So it was just like gladiator practice, and that plays to my work ethic today. You feel me?
Except y'all had clothes on, so that's cool, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. We no spandex and shit. You know what I'm saying? None of that shit.
Yo, man. So like, people are always asking me, how did we meet? How did the album come about? Just basically our whole dynamic, me and you together.
Okay.
Do you remember that situation?
How do we? Well, if I'm missing something,
How did we meet? How did we get involved with each other?
first off, you are good friends with another one I'm forever in debt with, Rashid Hadi. You
Absolutely,
and
bro.
Rashid Hadi go way back.
Absolutely.
You guys, since the beat days, you know what I'm saying? The beat battle
Absolutely.
days back in 07, 08.
Yeah, man.
I did an album with Rashid Hadi called, I did an album with Rashid Hadi. We toured it, and we hit Detroit about 4 times in a matter of months. And every time I would drop, you would hit my DM and would like, I like this one. I like
Absolutely.
that. I like this album. I like this one better than the last one.
Yeah.
I could see the growth. You gave me my flowers, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, bro. That's important to me, man.
Yeah.
That's important for growth, period.
Growth, bro.
You know what I'm saying? When you give someone positive feedback, it lets them know like, yo, this is what I'm here for. This is why I'm doing this.
Exactly.
I need to continue on.
Exactly.
And not just me, anyone, man. We should always give everybody their flowers, man, and let them know how much of a fan we are, how much we listen to their music.
Yeah.
Why are we waiting until somebody dies to give them their flowers, man? Everybody always talking about dick riding and nah, man. If I'm a fan and I think your music's amazing, I'm gonna tell you your music's amazing, and then I'm gonna probably follow that up with like, yo, let's work.
The first DM you sent me, you ended it with that. I'm a fan. And you don't know, like, and I told you this off. I told you this a few times. Like, I used to snatch your shit off YouTube and perform to them joints. So for Apollo Brown to really hit my DM and tell me he a fan, that does something to an artist like myself that was coming up and really going hard at this shit and making the little sacrifices to get to where I wanted to go. You
Word.
know, so you hit me in a DM, bro, and I went down. I came to Detroit for a show. I think we were at Old Miami. I came to
Okay.
Detroit. You came through. Took you as soon as I hit the DM. You showed up in like 7 to 8 minutes, like you were already on the way or something. I thought you probably lived around the corner or some shit.
Nah, man,
But
definitely not, man.
you said it though. You was like, man, I wanna do something with you. And of course, you did the honorable thing. You know, we grown men, but you did the honorable thing. You hit Hadi and was like, man, I want to work with bro. So
Yeah.
of course, Hadi being who he is, he like shit. Just let me get on it. You know what I'm saying? Pause.
Yeah. Yo, no. So Hadi, you know, obviously, I know you guys had a very close relationship, a very just an amazing working relationship, man. And I didn't know if he was nurturing you as an artist or if he was like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know anything about y'all dynamic at the time. I just knew y'all worked closely together and did a lot of music together. So I hit Hadi up and was like, yo, man, I really, I want to work with Philly.
Yeah.
But I don't want to step on any toes. I'm like, yo, is it okay if we did an album together or we did a song together or whatever? And, I just wanted to let him know first, man, because I didn't want to, I didn't want to cause no friction. So,
bro.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, of course, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not his keeper. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just work together.
No friction.
Absolutely. But I wanted to make sure all was well. You know what I'm saying?
And for sure.
Yeah,
and that's the honorable thing to do, when you meet somebody through somebody else.
Yeah.
And like I say, even though we're grown man, that's the honorable thing to do. Because, as you know Hadi's personality, man, he just want to see people win. He put his whole career on the side, rapping career on the side for me.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you said, man, I want you on something. I don't know what it's going to be, a song or something. I'm working on something right now. But when I'm done with that, I'm at you. And one day you hit me on the DM and was like, man, let's make this classic, man. Just like that.
Absolutely, man. I remember that too. And I was like, yo, man. And you came through with Sky Zoo and Elzai was that tour. Yep. And
tour.
Yep. And I was like, yo, man, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't care what we do. We got to do something. We got to work. I don't know if it was a song. I don't know if it's going to be an EP. I don't know if it's going to be a feature or a full length. And, I had time, hit you up to see if you had a window. And it's like, yo, let's make this album, bro. Let's make this album. And then I'm like, yo, and then I want it to be about Chicago, man. I want you to write about home. I want you to perform it as if you're, this is home, man. That's why a lot of people ask me, man, representing Detroit, why do you have an album that has Chicago on the front of it? And I'm like, yo, that it's important to the artist, man. And he's from Chicago. I'm a producer, you know what I'm saying? But you're the face of this album, and your city is is where the abundance of the music comes from. Even though it's from a Detroit producer, like I've told you, I try to give you my interpretation of what I thought Chicago sounded like from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
And that was the music that I came up with in my head. Like this right here is Chicago for me.
And you nailed it, bro.
Yeah. Appreciate that, bro. For
the record, anybody cost of living on all streaming platforms right now, let's just plug that. It's only right. For the record, for the listeners, every track, I didn't hand select not one track from that album. They were all made and constructed for me. And they were from his perspective of Chicago.
Yeah.
So, that just shows, that says a lot about your ear, bro. Like, I didn't pick none of those beats. You know what I mean? You picked them all, and I think you hit the fucking tail on the donkey, bro.
Yeah, man. Hey. No, we did an amazing job, bro. That album is one of my favorites, man. And it's one of those, I told you from the beginning, man, and for me, it was all about relatable music. Yeah. And especially at the age I am now, not saying I'm old, but at the age I am right now, where I'm at in my life, as a husband, as a father, as somebody who has a lot of responsibilities, and I'm chill these days, man. I'm not rah-rah like that.
Nah, rah rah,
So,
man.
I'm all about relatable music because that's the music that's timeless. That's the music that we'll pull back up 30 years from now
Yeah.
and go, yo, this is amazing. You know what I'm
It's gonna
saying?
age
Like,
well. It's gonna age well.
absolutely. And
It's gonna
that's
age
what
well.
people don't realize, man. All that rah-rah music and all that, club this and club that, and we getting money, all that.
Nah,
That's that. It doesn't last long, man. It doesn't have a shelf life. So,
it don't. I look at
yo, we
artists like,
we we made amazing music, man. And then, we had the nerve to tour it. We had the
listen,
nerve to
man.
take it on the road, bro.
Listen, bro.
Tell me about
That
tell me
album,
about your tour experience.
man. Listen, first, I want to thank you for showing me that side of music and the art of performing. I've done plenty shows in America, but that really changed my perspective on hip hop and how it should be done as far as live shows and the appreciation of it. You know, the experiences, it was unbelievable. It's unbelievable, bro. Like, it's a high that I can't even explain. Like, I don't see how certain artists could sit and say they don't like touring.
Yeah,
When you
man.
see people and you touch the soul in these foreign places that you never heard of, like a Dresden, Germany. I never heard of Dresden, Germany.
Hmm.
Where people,
Yo, Dresden was
where
live
it's all
too.
about live, bro. And over there, it's all about simplicity. People, they don't value certain shit we value over here. It's
Yeah.
all about the music, and they want to hear the music, and they love the art of hip hop, bro. True story, man. You know, the Paris show, and then I had an epiphany that night, bro. Like, we did the Paris show, and the hotel is very, very close to the
Hmm.
venue, and it has these open concept windows where you can just open them up. And after the show, I went back to the room, man, and I laid down in the bed. I had the windows wide open, and I was just listening to the people across the street talk about our show. You know
That's
what I'm
crazy.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
we got food, we got back in. I was listening to the people talk about our show, and it was just beautiful, bro. That was a feeling it was a beautiful feeling, man. Like, that's top 10 of all the feelings I've ever felt in my life, because hip hop is dear to me, and I love this. I don't play it. I don't play
Hmm.
about this, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So, just to lay in that bed, man, and with that window wide open in Paris, and hear those people talk, man, it did something to me, bro. It did something, and it pushed me
Word.
to a whole nother level of dedication. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, I want to get back, and I want to definitely see the rest of this world, bro, and how they feel about
Oh,
Philmore, Greene, Apollo Brown, and
yeah, we ain't done.
whatever else is
We're not
going
done. We're not done. You know what I'm
on.
saying?
Man, bro,
Like,
like,
yo, me and Sky we still tour, Easy Truth. Me and Guilty, we still tour, Dice Game. There's still a demand for it.
right,
There'll always, that's the thing about timeless music, bro. Relatable, timeless music. There will always be a demand
yeah,
for that music, especially in person, especially rocking the stage, and it will always be there,
it's
bro.
no other feeling.
So, yo,
It's no other feeling.
I'm glad we went out a couple times, man, and I'm super glad
Yeah,
that you got to experience that, man, and take that home with you, man, and really just kind of,
yeah.
just soak in that experience, man. It's always good. It's an ego boost, it's an ego boost,
We still
man.
bar gifts. Still, we came home
Oh
with
yeah, yeah.
gifts,
That's
like
right. That's right.
trophies
That's
and
right.
everything.
Yeah, man.
So, man,
Yeah.
it's beautiful, bro. It's beautiful.
Yo,
Beautiful. It
man.
changed my
So
life, bro.
I'm gonna get into a couple things, man. A couple questions that are common and people want to know, but some might just be me being inquisitive. Some of this stuff I already know just from me and you hanging out. Because, me and Sky talked about it too. Once you tour with somebody, that's when you really get to know somebody. You know what I'm saying? You're stuck in a
Facts.
van or you're stuck in, close quarters with these people, you know, and you really
Facts.
get to know these people, man. You really
Yeah.
very, very seldom do you talk about music. You know what I'm saying?
Very
And
seldom, bro.
me and you, we've been on that, we've been on that for a while, man, way before touring, bro. We talk about life, we
Way
talk about
before,
the
bro.
family, we talk about,
Yeah.
what's going on with us, not musically, but what's
Yeah.
going on with us. You know what I'm saying? And we've always had
Very
that.
personal. Very
I
personal.
think from the beginning, we've always just kind of been comfortable enough to have that conversation and and just be able to relate in that way, man. So, as a friend, I definitely appreciate that, bro. I can come to you, I can talk to you about whatever, and we can hash it out, man. And you know, you can give me advice or vice versa. You could tell me about how 1977 was. You know what I'm saying? Like you can yo, but no, but yo, so I think a lot of people want to know, those who don't know, I think I know this answer, but it's a simple question, man. Where did your name come from?
Well, my name comes. It's different meanings. My name is an acronym. Um, First, I'm gonna give the first answer. Phil was my uncle. He's no longer with us. He was very dear to me and the rest of my family. Phil and Greene is my grandfather's government name and my great grandfather's government name. So it's a Greenlove Jr. and a Greenlove Senior. So the same spelling, Greene. So you put Philmore Greene together. These are two people that's very dear to me, and two people I hold in my heart, and I just wear them everywhere I go. I keep them with me everywhere I go, and I represent both sides of my family. That's my father and my mother's side.
Yeah.
So then you break down the spelling. I was a heavy woo head, still is, but back in high school, and it was on another level. You know what I'm saying? So you
Yeah.
take Philmore Greene, Philmore, and Greene, Greene. Fillmore, place hatred and instigators last, make obstacles very effortless, real effortless. Then Greene, grow righteously every day, expect nothing equal. That's what that means. And if you place the haters and the naysayers behind you and you move forward, it's no way you can look back, because if you run and looking
Mm-hmm.
back, you're more likely to trip and fall, and you're gonna lose the race. Grow
Yeah.
righteously every day, expect nothing equal. That means every day you can teach yourself something new. And if you expect nothing equal, you can't be stagnant or you can't go lower. You can only go higher. So you can always get brighter if you teach yourself something new. So place hatred
Mm-hmm.
and instigators last, make obstacles real effortless. Grow righteously every day, expect nothing equal. That's Fillmore Greene.
Word. Okay. Yeah. Now I remember you explaining that to me, man. I think I asked you a while ago. I'm like, yo, where your name come from, man? And you broke it down to me, and I'm like, okay, all
They
right,
thought it
this
was some
dude,
pimp
man.
shit. Like, oh, nah.
Hey,
I ain't on
hey,
no
that's
pimp
what it
shit. You
sounds
know what
like
I'm
too.
saying?
That's what it sounds like. You pimp some
Nah,
Chicago pimp, Fillmore Green. You know what I'm saying?
nah,
Anything
nah.
Fillmore is pimp related. So, you
Anything
know,
Fillmore.
anything
Nah, it's,
Fillmore,
it's
man.
all about advancement. It's all about advancement, man.
Absolutely, man.
Teaching
That's dope.
yourself, growing righteously, and advancing to the next level in life, music, whatever you want to do. That's
And
Fillmore Green. Anybody
I'm
can
a,
wear it.
I'm a firm believer in spaceships don't come equipped with rear view mirrors. You know what I'm saying? Like once you going forward, man, there's no
At
reason to
all.
look back behind you. So you don't even need rear view mirrors,
Wow.
man. For what? I'm not looking back. So no, I totally
Nah.
agree, bro.
And then along that way, people gonna knock you. They gonna on nice to meet you. Watch for your loved ones who hate on your accomplishment. People gonna knock
Mm-hmm.
you along your journey. So if you place them in the rear view, if you place them behind you, and you keep forward on what you're doing in life, you have no other choice but to grow. So that
Yeah,
name
bro.
is dear to me, man. When I was, I think I struck gold with it. You feel me? So
Hey, man,
that's me, and
I say so. I
anybody
say
can
so,
wear that
bro.
name.
I say so. Yo, so what is it?
Yeah.
What is it about your music, man, that garners all the attention that it does, man? And I mean, you seemingly, yeah, at least for myself and a lot of others, man, you stand out amongst the crowd, man. You stand out amongst the just amongst the MCs and the artists in Chicago, and not even just Chicago, man. It just period in hip hop, man. So You know, what do you think it's about your music that garners that attention, man?
Appreciate it. I think I'm just vulnerable, bro. I'm just being vulnerable. It doesn't get more real than being real. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't get more real than being real. If you give people your heart and you give people your real experiences, and I don't just, there's a lot of rappers, man. I don't tell, I tell my own stories, man. Nah, I'm telling my stories. I got
Mm-hmm.
homies I come up with that's doing federal penitentiary time. I got sisters and cousins that's going through shit. I got to tell their story too because they doing this with me. They living it with me. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna involve them in my world too, and I'm gonna give it to the world because it's people going through the same shit as us. So being real and just being vulnerable. Not saying other cats don't do it, but it's all about how you say it. You gotta give it
Yeah.
a certain way for people to receive it a certain way. So I think me being vulnerable, man, and me just giving them my honest vision of whatever comes to me when that track come on. You know, whatever comes to me when that track come on, that's what I do, and that's what I. It's them. It can relate to anybody. That's what I want to do. I want to make music. I want to make music that's relatable to anybody, man. And then when I step in the room, a lot of people think I'm this. I may look like I'm a mean guy, a big mean dude, but once you really sit down and talk with me and you really get to know me, man, I like to joke a lot. Shit, I play a lot. You feel me? So,
Yeah.
man, it's just being me, bro. I don't put on no gimmick shit.
Yeah.
It's no motherfucking it's no gimmicks behind my music. I'm just being myself, bro,
Yeah,
and
man.
that's it. I'm not trying to be nothing else but Philmore Greene.
So being vulnerable, man, I feel like it's hard for a lot of MCs or a lot of artists to be vulnerable, man. How important is that though? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that they just feel like they got to be hard all the time. They feel like they got to cover up their feelings with
Oh,
having a good time all the time. I mean, we're not always like everything ain't always cheery and lovely and beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And so being
right.
vulnerable and letting everybody else know how you feel and what you're going through. And I think you had mentioned one time in an interview that we did together about therapy and how important it is about just going to therapy. Man, touch on that a little bit.
Oh man, therapy means a lot to me. Shout out to my therapist, Angel Tatum. She means a lot to me, man. She helped me a lot, and I'm growing, bro. Therapy
Yeah.
means a lot, man, because we gonna go through things, and a lot of times people don't have that shoulder or that ear to go to, and they're gonna keep it near and dear to you, to them. They're
Mm-hmm.
gonna, you can't trust your word with everybody. So therapy means a lot, man. I think everybody should seek therapy and really open up and unwind to someone and really talk about what they're going through. Every single thing. When I first got with my therapist, man, I took her all the way back to when I was a kid, to my age that I was when we started. And
Yeah. Yeah.
she was just writing and going through everything, bro. But therapy means a lot, man. Everybody needs to unpack.
Absolutely.
Everybody needs to unpack. Everybody needs to unpack because everybody go through things. It's inevitable. You're gonna go through things in life. Like you just said, man, everything ain't all. It's not everything not beautiful and just bright lights and flowers. You got it.
Yep.
A boat doesn't float. It's not floating. It's really rocking.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's floating, but
Yeah.
it's airplanes when they go in the air, it's turbulence. So that's life, man. You're gonna hit your bumps. So you
Yeah.
gotta really unpack to some people about those because you trying to bottle it in, you really holding it in, and you really damaging yourself. So therapy is important, man. I think us is nowadays with everything going on in this world. I think we really need therapy, man. It's a beautiful thing. Find a therapist, vet out who you really like and who you really think you could talk to, whether it's a man, woman. Me personally, I wanted a woman to talk to because I feel like women are nurturers. They
Mm-hmm.
nurturers and they think more than anybody. They think more than men. Not knocking the male therapists out there, but women are special, man. So I wanted a woman, specifically a black woman therapist,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
she can
Yeah.
relate. She can relate to where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? and she's a mother, and she's a very great person, man. So everybody out there, seek therapy, man. If you think you need it, or if you really don't think you need it, you really do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's just part of being vulnerable, man. And the older we get,
Yeah.
I think we realize how important that is, man, and just kind of being ourselves and not trying to be somebody that we're not, man. Like a lot of these cats out here, man.
A
So,
lot of them, man.
man,
No mirror.
I ain't got time for that, bro. I don't have any time for that. So, yo, so what were your aspirations outside of music, man? Like, so if it wasn't for hip hop, what would you be doing, you know, as a career? If hip hop didn't even exist, if it was something that wasn't even a part of your wheelhouse, you know, something that you really wanted to do, you just your aspirations, man. What you want to do?
I love film.
Okay.
I love film. I want to give the world my view behind the lens. And when I approach music, I think about film. Like, how would this movie scene feel? How would
Mm-hmm.
it be? What time of day is it? I love film. I've always loved film. I look at movies from a different perspective. I don't know everything about the film world, but I love film. So I'll probably be doing something within the film industry. You know,
Okay.
making Oscar nominated and Oscar award winning movies. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
You know,
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. You know, it's a I mean, that's just film, man. That's hard to me, man. It's like I can't picture things, you know, in certain ways, man. For me, it's all about the audio. So, you know, I always tell people, you know, picture a child on a swing, and
mm-hmm.
you could change the mood of that picture with whatever audio you put behind that picture. You know,
For
whatever
sure.
in a film. You know what I'm saying? It could be circus
Yeah.
music, or it could be the most
Yeah.
sinister music. And I've always said that I feel as though music controls your emotions. Not it's what you hear, not what you see.
And
You
then
know what
you
I'm
can
saying?
throw that circus music. You can throw that circus music behind a kid on a swing and make it nighttime, and it turns into some spooky and off
True,
and weird.
true,
It's a
true.
beautiful world, man. Music and film. What would the world be without it?
Man, it would be boring, bro. I'll tell you what.
Boring.
That'd be crazy,
What
man. It
would
would
the
be
world be
boring.
without?
Man,
So film, man. You know,
we would be
film.
playing with wooden toys, and we'd be outside playing hide and seek. So, I
I'm gonna
mean,
shoot that movie. I'm gonna give you that role you wanted to tell me about. You wanted to be the stripper. I'm gonna definitely do that for you, man. I'm gonna film. I'm gonna direct that movie, man.
yeah,
You know,
okay.
you're
All
gonna be
right.
the lead stripper.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah, okay. Yo,
You
so
know,
growing up, what were your non-music related influences? Not music related, your influences around the way, whether watching TV or movies, or you know, it could be a principal, it could be, you know, anybody who's non-music related that influenced you in your life.
man. First person come to mind was a guy in my elementary school. He did so much for the community. You got cats back in the hood right now that some of them are in the penitentiary and some of them are no longer with us. But if you from the K-Town area,
Mm-hmm.
you had to, if you went to Heffron, you know from a certain period of time, you know who Sergeant Thomas was. Sergeant Thomas he was a sergeant in the Army that left the Army and worked for the school I went to. But he created a program called Patrol. And we would help the crossing guards, as kids, we would help the crossing guards cross kids across the street in before school and after school.
Mm.
And for doing that, on Fridays we would get patrol gym. We would get pulled out of class, and all the patrol guards, we would go in the gym and we would play basketball. It was a privilege. And we had our belts. He had it set up as a system. You went from private, sergeant, captain, lieutenant to captain, and then your colonel. You know what I'm saying? We would have drill competitions. He had structure in the school, but not only in the school, we left that school. No matter what we had at home, we had patrol when we went to school the next day.
Yeah.
So I could name a bunch of people, man, but shout out to Sergeant Thomas, man. If you went to Heffron Elementary around a certain year, I'm not gonna get those years because there's a lot of years and it's long ago. If you went to Heffron Elementary and you from K-Town, from let's say 98 and above, you know who Sergeant Thomas was, man. Sergeant Thomas is. He's retired now, but he was that dude, man. He kicked ass. He beat up gangbangers.
Oh yeah.
That was a real cat, man. Salute to Sergeant Thomas, man. So that
Word.
was one of my big influences, man, coming up. I gotta give Sergeant flowers, man.
Okay. Okay.
Sergeant Thomas, man. Little bitty motherfucker too. Kicking ass. You know.
Hey man. So switching gears, man, what are your music related influences? It could be, you know, I know you mentioned Philly, but you know, like I said, it could be local, it could be worldwide, whatever, man. It don't got to be hip hop. It could be whatever, man. Whatever your music related influences were.
Well, you already know I love music, bro. So Rick James, Tina Marie, I can go on. I can name a lot, man. Marvin Gaye. Man. But the whole golden era, the Snoops, the Jay-Z's, the Biggies, the Wu, the Dog Pounds, the Dre's, Nas, Ray, bro, it's that golden era, and everybody from the South. Always said if I could go back in time, I would live in the 70s, right around the time Roy Ayers made Everybody Loves the Sunshine.
Okay.
I would go to Brooklyn or Harlem or wherever he was, and I would love to sit. The morning that song released, I would love to feel the vibe. I would love to feel the vibe of when in Queens, when Made You Look dropped, when Ether dropped in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would like to go back in certain times of music. I asked Scott one day what it was like when they had the Biggie parade. You know what I'm saying? I asked him about that experience, and he expounded on that, man. And it was a beautiful thing to hear.
Yeah.
But it was so many influences to me, man. I could sit here for the rest of the interview, for the rest of the pod, and really go. You know, then you come back to the crib, you got your Soldiers at War, you got Crucial Conflict, Do or Die, you got Twister. Shout out to my brother Color One. Color One, he was an influence to me because he had a CD store on Madison. I would go up there. You remember J Arms?
No. Who's that? No.
He dropped every instrumental from every mainstream record that was out.
Okay.
And Color would put them on CD. He had a CD and T-shirt print store. Color would put it on CD. I would go buy my CDs from Color and go back home and work on my skills. So Color was an inspiration too. I still talk to the OG too. You know what I'm saying? So Color One, all the golden era, from Chicago, from LA to New York, and north to south, on back to the 70s, the soulful music, man. I got so many inspirations, bro. It can come from anywhere. Pause.
Yo, I always say it, man, if I could just be a fly on the wall in a Rick James session, I'm put me in a Rick James session. I'm cool.
You'd probably be a high fly. Rick James is a motherfucker, bro. The fly gonna catch a contact, bro.
Yeah.
Land on the wrong pile or something.
Yeah.
Rick James, man.
Yeah, man.
Rick James, man.
Yo, Rick James is that guy, man.
Yo, I want to get some shit flagged, bro. You know
yo, man. Yo, if I can go to one concert, man, and it'd be at one concert of anybody, man, it'd be Rick James, bro.
Listen, Mike Tyson was in an interview. He said it's a true story. He went to an interview with Rick James and Tina Marie. He said a concert. He said the concert was so long, they rocked for 4 hours. Everybody just passed out on the stage.
Crazy, bro.
That's a hell of a fucking concert.
Hell yeah, man. That's yo, man.
Death Around the Corner. Tupac, Death Around the Corner.
Yeah.
I wish I could be a fly on the wall for that session. What would make you write that shit? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sir, man, we can go on and on about this type of shit, bro.
Absolutely, bro. And we have. You know what I'm saying? We have. So, yo, if you had to introduce your career to one person who's never heard of you, they don't know who Philmore Greene is, and you had to introduce them using only one song in your catalog, what would it be?
Oh man, dog.
It sums up the rest of your catalog. You know, you can only present one song.
Shit, bro. Damn, just one.
Just one, man. Just one. That gives them everything that they need about you,
Okay.
your lyricism, your delivery, your life, your everything that they need about you. You know, that would basically tell them this is what the rest of his catalog sounds like.
Okay, so before I answer that, every artist should have a song. You got Biggie. When Biggie passed, they did the parade and they played More Money, More Problems. His verse
Mm-hmm.
was More Money, More Problems. When Prodigy passed, they played Keep It Thorough or Shook Ones. Some people have two songs, some people have more.
Yeah.
That song that they're going to play at your funeral when you pass that make the whole crowd go crazy. Sean Price, Barbarian, King Kong. You know what I'm saying? For me, and I'm going to just choose one. I mean, and I'm not saying it because we on the pod. I would say Steep Life.
Word.
Steep Life is that one they're going to play at my funeral when I'm out of here. You know, Steep Life is going to be that one. So it's either Steep Life and right behind Steep Life, Nighttime Maneuvers 2. But
Okay.
Steep Life is that one, not only because Steep Life is that one, but Steep Life represents Chicago. It is Chicago. It has the Chicago pace, and it's riveting.
Steep Life is important, man. That's an important joint.
Steep Life is important,
you know what I'm saying?
Bro.
You know, when you said Steep Life, all I can think of is the crowd on tour.
Bro.
You know, dropping the music, like Steep Life.
Listen,
man.
Crazy. When they participate, it's on another level. When I play, I got a few people that I go to and I trust their ear. Before Cost of Living dropped, I went to my brother Saul. You know Saul.
Absolutely, yeah.
Shout out my brother Saul and my brother Gator. I went to them and I played it. I was in Saul crib. It was my brother Saul, Gator, and it was like two other people in there. When Steep Life dropped, they said the same thing at the same time. When it they said it at the same time, the same duration. When Steep Life dropped, that's how I knew that was going to be a crazy record, and that was going to be a favorite to a lot of people.
Yeah,
but I
man.
think if I had to introduce my whole career to someone in one record, it would be Steep Life because that's Chicago.
Word.
That's Chicago, man. You got the comment on the vote. Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Yeah. The way I had to have that. You know what I'm saying? Like that just made all the sense to me, man, making that record. So yeah, without a doubt, bro. Yo, so what is the most impactful moment of your career, man? Like, what is your boom moment, that break moment that's like, yo, it's happening?
Touching the soil overseas for the first time. It's all happening in real time. I'm not a real, I don't got that much history, bro, that people know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I'm just coming to the top of the hill. But I would say the very first show overseas. Because I really wanted to touch the soil overseas for so long, bro. Like that was something I never knew how I would get over there.
Yo, you almost did. You almost didn't get over there, man. You want to tell that story? Yeah, you almost didn't get.
Hey, man.
Yo, you almost didn't get over there, man. Why don't you tell the people how, what I'm talking about?
Okay. So, 2 days before we set the fly out, y'all have been telling me, man, get your passport, put it there. Like a kid going to school for the first, you got your book bag, you got your pencils. So I had my passport, I gave it to my lady. She dropped it in the dresser and she put it in the drawer. not knowing her passport is in the same fucking drawer. Okay, she take it out. I take it out. I put it on top of my clothes. We go towards O'Hare Airport because that's where we're flying out of. O'Hare from the crib is roughly an hour. So we go eat. I got enough time. I stopped at my daughter's school, gave my daughter a t-shirt. You know, made my daughter was the shit that day. Katie Bug is the shit any day. But that day I gave her a tour shirt. She took the tour shirt back to the class. Boom, boom, boom. So we go to Hooters. You're already overseas.
Yeah, I'm already there.
Already there. You left the day before.
I was there. I was there early.
You was there early. We go to Hooters. And when we get to Hooters, we eat shrimp, you know, the buffalo shrimp, the ranch. You know, I like to eat, so we eating this shit. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, man, Tim didn't give me a boarding pass, bro. So I'm like, love, pass me my my passport. Let me log in and put this passport information in. Because I don't have a fucking boarding pass. Anywhere you fly, you gotta have a boarding pass.
I mean, it's on the phone. Yeah.
It's on the phone, right? But I think I asked you, and you was like, nah, you should be good. But I'm at the table, I'm like, man, fuck, nah, this don't feel right. So I'm like, let me log into this. And I look, and when she gave me the fucking passport, we in Hooters. We almost didn't even pay for the food. We got out of there so fast. When I opened up the passport, it was her face like this. She was smiling back at me, and I just looked at her. I said, this is you. She damn near started crying. So I said, man, whatever you do, I will pay for every ticket you get. I need you to run every light, get to the house, and get my passport and bring it back. Because they telling me it's nothing they could do. We can't do no phone shit. That's why I call you. I'm like, man, bro. Man, we looking into other options and shit. And you like, what? You like, man, get on that plane, man. I'm like, bro, I got you. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, man, so you had me worried, bro.
Bro, I'm calling my lady, calling. I could hear the car just like a motherfucking Mel Gibson movie. Lethal Weapon or some shit, bro. She in and out of traffic. Man, I left my luggage. I wore the same jogging suit when I got overseas. I wore the same jogging suit for like the first 3-4 shows.
Yeah.
We didn't hit a H&M until probably the 4th show in the tour.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, you know, got on the phone with Chuck, got on the phone with her. You know, she hit every light. She didn't get no tickets, but by the grace of God, man, she got the passport back to me. And as soon as I got there, I got in front of some people in the fucking check-in line. They looking at me crazy. I'm jumping the line for the motherfucking customs. And as soon as I got to the gate, the girl came and asked. She was like, did that last one come? They were finna close the door, bro. I didn't give a fuck about luggage. I didn't give a fuck about underwear, socks. Nigga, I would wash this fucking underwear in a sink if I got to. Get me on this plane, man. Because I knew if I missed that first show, man, it's unprofessional for one. And it will fuck the whole tour up. So a rookie mistake on my behalf. It'll never happen again. I got a sticker on the back of my passport. And I got them to check it everywhere I go now. You know what I'm saying?
Got to, bro.
That was
man.
A crazy moment, but we got it. That's the running joke every time, and I live with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, you had me worried, bro. I was like, you hit me up, and I'm like, what did he just say to me, man? Like, what? Hold on, what? Like, I couldn't imagine. I was like, you got the wrong passport. What are you talking about? Like, and then you explained to me that they was both in the drawer, and you grabbed the wrong one. You didn't flip the pages and look at it real quick. Man, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like, man, this dude, he needs to get here, bro. And then you got there, which was all good. We got, the show must go on. Whether we got merch, whether we got clothes, it doesn't matter. The show must go on. That's why I always keep my equipment bag on me. Because if I lose luggage, or if I lose anything, it doesn't matter. The show must go on. In my 15 years of of traveling overseas, I've never missed a show. Not one time I've never missed a show. So it was like, yo, we gotta make this happen. And even if you didn't show up, I would have held it down. But yo, you showed up, and I was like, hell yeah, we got a show. And then, like you said, you had to wear the same, jogging suit for the next 2 or 3 shows before we got to, actually go shopping.
Yeah, before we got some time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because we was running. We was running.
They was my lady and Chuck, they were talking about the option of fucking mailing my luggage over there. That shit was like $2,500. I'm like, man, fuck that shit.
Hell no.
I'm over here. If I got to do the whole run in this fucking jogging suit, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? So,
and people don't realize that doing shows overseas is not a fashion show. They don't care about what you got on stage, man. It's not a fashion show.
It's not a fashion show
at all.
Not a fashion show. Get out there, man. My jogging. It was a great Nike jogging suit too. That motherfucker was dirty as ever. You can see the dirt on the fucking jacket. You feel me? But bro, washing my underwear.
Hey, but we was rocking though. We was rocking. Hell yeah, man, rocking. Yo, so what is more important to you? For you to progress. More positive thinking or less negative thinking? It's one of them questions. One of those questions. Would you rather think more positive or think less negative?
Positivity is going to trump everything, bro. So I'd rather think more positive.
Okay.
If I'm thinking more positive, I can give a fuck about the negative. I don't even know negativity exists if I'm thinking positive.
Word.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
If I'm thinking more positive, what is negativity? If I'm happy, what the fuck is sadness? You feel me?
Yeah.
So thinking more positive, man, because positivity, love trumps all, man. Love is everything. Love is, so positivity is everything, bro. Like if I think positive and I continue to think positive, nothing can supersede that. Nothing can block what I'm doing. So I'm thinking more positive is everything to me. What about you?
So the glass is half full.
Yeah,
absolutely.
6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. You feel me?
I've been through. I mean, I'm up and down with it. Throughout my career, man. Sometimes I'm pessimistic, and sometimes I think a little too negative sometimes. And then sometimes I'm in a moment in my career where it's nothing but positive thinking, man. So it kind of it depends on what I'm going through in my career. In my life, I'm always thinking positive. I have no other reason but to think positive. You know what I'm saying? So, but career wise, man, yeah, I'm kind of up and down with it. I would love to think more positive, and not even worry about the negative, like you said. And I'm getting to that. You know what I'm saying? I've always been a pessimistic person when it came to my career, man. So, I'm starting to think more positive, man, and things are happening. It makes it a lot easier. So, yeah, bro. No, I get that, man. Glass half full, not half empty.
It's all about knowing that you cannot control things that's out of your hand. That's out of
Absolutely.
your means. You can't control it. So, for lack of better words, you just gotta say, man, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I gotta keep it moving. The things you can't control, you can't worry about it.
Yeah.
So that's just how I move, man. I let people, you gotta give people grace, and you gotta move with, a certain mindset. But you also gotta know the things that are uncontrollable, they are just that. They're uncontrollable. You gotta let it go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I say, man, lead with positivity.
Word, man. So, what's your favorite album of the 90s?
Favorite album of the 90s? Oh, like we said, Moment of Truth.
Oh, so you're gonna stick with that?
Moment of Truth, bro.
You're gonna stick with that for the whole 90s. You're gonna stick with that.
Listen, that changed my life.
I mean,
That
I
is
got
the
the
album that
I got
said,
the
man,
plaque on the wall. I got the plaque right here on the wall.
yeah,
You know that.
I
You
peeped
seen that?
that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I was down there, bro.
yeah,
Pause.
yeah.
I was down there. That was the album. That was the album that said, man, I want my music to sound this way. So that was
Mm-hmm.
one of my, that was my, and I told Preem that. I had the opportunity to tell him that to his face. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's nothing more beautiful than that. But when you really, man, the 90s,
It's a
I
lot of
don't know,
albums,
man.
bro. That's a lot of music, bro. A lot of music. A
Dang.
lot of the best music.
Nas, it was written.
Oh, so you gonna stick with that, man. We talked about that on tour, bro. You gonna stick with it was written, huh? That's what you're gonna do?
See, a lot of people will say Illmatic, but me, you know, I had to go back to it because I'm not an old nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, I'm not an old
Okay.
nigga, bro.
All right, all right,
So
all
when
right.
Illmatic dropped, I was we performed the song every when Illmatic dropped. I was only 9 years old. I was,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't an old. I'm not an old nigga, bro. So Illmatic, I had to go back. So I didn't get Illmatic in real time. You know what I mean? It was
man.
I Am and it was written. You got Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt. You got Biggie, Ready to Die. You got man, shit. You got Doggy Style. Like
I got all the best
man,
albums,
I'm
bro,
a
in my era.
listen, man. I'm gonna stick with Moment of Truth because we can
All right.
go.
I got you.
We'll be on this bitch to 12 o'clock.
I got you.
One
Yeah,
your
no, I
time.
mean, Moment of Truth, like I said, top 5 album of all time, man, without a doubt. So,
All
you
time.
know, it's
All time.
definitely, it's definitely there. I get it. So what about the
Yeah.
2000s? Well, what about the 2000s? What was your favorite album then?
The 2000s.
Yeah.
I would have to say, other than Supreme Clientele, okay, I'm not going like Supreme Clientele is it. You know that stand in a cloud. Supreme Clientele, my favorite song of and from my favorite album from the 2000s. Shit, what's yours, man? Because there's so much shit going through my mind, I can't even.
So Supreme Clientele came out in 2000. So yeah, I would have to say Supreme Clientele. You know what I'm saying? All the rest of them is in the 90s. So Supreme Clientele was there's no other album that had the impact on me that album did. You know what I'm
Supreme
saying? Like
Clientele.
that album just it impacted me so much, man, and in a different way than any other album. Even my favorite album of all time, which is Into the Stage, it's
Okay.
still that album didn't Supreme Clientele impacted me like no other album ever that has ever come out.
So we both agree with Supreme Clientele. So I'm gonna go with 1A. That's 1A. 1B, Common B. Common B is an album. That's another
Okay.
album I chase. Simply
Okay.
because me being from Chicago, around that time, Chicago was in a special place. That's when we heard Lupe Fiasco for the first time. Jay-Z was here a lot, you know, trying to sign cats. You had the Mick Luders, Lupe Fiasco, but Common B was that album simply because it was boom bap. Not only was it boom bap, but it represented Chicago so much to where as though you felt
Yeah.
like you was a part of that album. You felt like you was a part of that album. And if
I
I had
mean
a third
the
one,
corner,
I'm gonna go
a lot of the albums, a lot of the
The
music on that
Corner.
album was amazing, bro. Yeah.
Sonically. So, and then he had Detroit on there twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jay
Yep.
Dilla.
Yep. Yep.
So it was the Chicago thing, but you had the Detroit connection with that too, and that's something special. That Chicago Detroit connection, Chicago Detroit, you and I, you know what I mean? Like it's something about that album. Every time me and Saul ride out south, we play Common B because it gives us a feel. It gives us a feel. And another one is Graduation, Kanye West. Simply
Okay.
because when you really think about Graduation and you really listen to Graduation, that was the last boom bap album from Kanye. That shit had Barry
Okay.
Bonds. That shit had
Mm-hmm.
Champion. That shit had Flashing Lights. I
Yeah.
Wonder. That was the last boom bap album from Kanye West when he was sampling and chopping. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? He did it after, but that was when he connected with Kid Cudi and he got on all that other shit. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Which was dope, but Graduation was the last boom bap album from Kanye when he was really, doing his shit. So that's another album I hold in high regard, and that was in the 2000s, man. So,
Word.
other than Supreme Clientele, Common Beat, Graduation.
So that kind of answers my next question, because I was going to ask you which album out of Chicago is better, and I was going to say Common B, Kanye West, College Dropout, or Lupe Fiasco, Food and Liquor. But I mean,
Lupe,
you already put B in high regard. So
B is in high regard. B's the winner. Lupe from the West Side, so it felt a different. I got a different feel from. I went to high school with Lupe's sister. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? So that's how close Lupe is. So when he was rapping and Kick Push came out, and he did the video in front of the Albany houses, I felt that. I was able to ride past. I've been in those buildings before. So it was a different feel. But
yeah.
Common, he really brought some with that album. He was in his bag, man. That's another album. Supreme Clientele and Common B are two albums that I chase sonically. If I ever reach it, I fuck around, be done with rap, bro. I'll probably be tired. You know what I'm saying? But you could never chase those
That's
albums,
all you
man.
need.
What
Huh? That's
albums
all
do
you
you?
need.
Is there any albums you chase? Like you wanna, if you touch that level of production, sonics, whatever it is you look for, what's that album you chasing? And you might be chasing it for your whole career. What is that album?
Oh man. Maybe it could be. Mine's a little dirtier than what you said, man. Probably Smith and Wesson, The Shining, was probably sonically. That's anything that the Beat Miners produced back in the day was, that was big for me, man. They're a huge influence on my sound, and you know so yeah, probably The Shining, and then Supreme Clientele obviously is up there. Um, Probably OC Jules. And then I would say probably 93 Till Infinity. Souls of Mischief.
Okay.
So yeah, man, it's a few, but I've learned over the years that there's really no industry standard when it comes to sound. And that all got thrown out the window for me when 36 Chambers came out. So when Wu-Tang came out and 36 Chambers came out, and I realized that there's no industry standard when it came to the way that things sounded. This literally sounded like it was made in a basement, and was. And it just sounded so dirty and nasty. But yet they was on the radio and had videos and this and this. And I'm like, now I don't have to worry about being super clean. I don't have to worry about any of that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, so sonically, man, it's just more so what I'm looking for and what I want, but yeah, I would say anything produced by the Beat Miners, man, in the 90s. So, that was a staple in my music. So, yeah, bro. Yeah. I got one. So what is your guilty pleasure in hip hop, man? Like, who do you listen to that your particular fan base would not approve of? Put it out there.
Oh man. I'm gonna blow New Jersey.
Put it out there, man.
So stuff. Oh, Chief Keef, bro. Chief Keef. I gotta give it to bro. He's a fucking icon, man.
Yeah.
He's the fucking icon, bro. Like, all the negativity and all the violence aside, I love what they doing now. They pushing peace, and all those guys, they're grown men now. They got families, and they really not trying to do the violent. You got cats that go to jail, come home after doing 20, 30 years, and say, man, yeah, it's not about that. You should be doing this. But now those dudes, they living, they really trying to get it right. No matter what happened, you ain't got to laugh at the same jokes with certain people because you can never come back from a fatality. But they pushing peace, they growing, and they living. But Chief Keef, bro, I fuck with homie. I fuck with
Hey,
Chief Keef heavy. Other
ain't
than
nothing wrong with
that,
that,
like
man.
when you really, man, Chief Keef, like he's a Chicago cat to the core, and he said he don't change in his music. He just he don't give a fuck, man. But he's a very professional guy. You
I
know what
mean,
I'm
you know how
saying?
I
It's
feel
some
about Chicago drill, bro. So,
Yeah,
you
bro.
know,
Like both. You know what I'm saying? Like we could talk about drill in that world. We have spoken about drill
yeah,
in
yeah. No,
that
that's one of
world
my guilty pleasures, man, is Chicago drill.
for
So,
hours.
yeah, bro.
Chief Keef, bro. Chief Keef. I fuck with him. He's an icon. Salute to Shorty. You know what I'm saying? Like that dude. He make good music to me, bro. He
Yeah,
make good
yeah.
music. So Chief Keef, man, you might, that is Chief Keef, bro.
There you
Chief
go.
Keef.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. Now get up in his DMs, man, and tell him. No, but
Chief Keef.
yo, I'm gonna get a little bit more serious, man. So, what is more important to you, man? Success or significance?
Mm. Success and significance.
Yep.
I think if you can't be significant, you can't be. If you can't stand alone and be you and really and break down significance. What do you mean by significance?
When I say
Before I answer.
significant, I mean impactful. Making a mark, leaving a legacy. Um,
Okay.
Obviously, most people's definition of success is a little different. Somebody's the definition of success might be making $1 million. Somebody's
Yeah.
definition of success might be, I got 3 beautiful kids and a wife. Or somebody's definition of success might be, yo, I woke up this morning. Significance, like I said, would be making a lasting mark or making an impact on not just your life, but somebody else's life. I
Okay.
don't think that being significant necessarily equates success. I think that it can, obviously. I don't think that it necessarily means that it will all the time. And vice versa. Just because you're successful doesn't mean that you're making a lasting impact. You know what I'm saying? So I don't
Yeah.
think the two really have to go hand in hand. I think they're very different. In my eyes, at least, I think they're very different. So some people want to be significant. Some people want to be successful. So what will be more important to you?
Man, if I die tomorrow, I'm already successful. When you ask somebody from K Town, you get what I'm saying. When you ask somebody from K Town about Philmore Greene, my area, if something was to happen to me tomorrow, I've already made it. If you ask me, I've already so my answer would be significance because I want to do this to leave a mark on people. When I'm gone, I want my grandson to be able to hold my piece of vinyl and say, my grandfather rapped on this, and he took this to Europe, and he touched the souls of people in Europe, and he really dug deep on this album, and I got it in my hands, and it could be 50, 60 years from now when I've dwelled into the green pastures already. You know what I'm saying? So significance, bro, because I do want to leave a mark. I want to leave my legacy. I want my
Yeah.
mural to be in Chicago and people walk past that and see it. You know, we were just talking about drill. No matter what, how negative people paint it, you look at that King Von mural out south, right across the street from a church, but it's a landmark.
Yeah.
People come
Yeah.
from all over the world to see that. People come
Yep.
from all over the world to take a picture in front of him, no matter what the content matter was, no matter what he stood for and what he spoke about. He touched people in different ways around this world. So
Yeah.
that's what I really want to do, because the money gonna come and go, and then
Yeah.
when you go, you can't take any of that shit. You figured success. You can't take the mansion with you.
Yeah.
You know
True.
what I'm saying? You can't take the cars with you. You can't take the jewelry with you. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You could try to get the jewelry down there, but they taking that shit off. You know what I'm saying? When your family leaves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So significant, bro. Significance, man. That's why
Word.
I had to get your take on significance to really answer the question the right way. But I want to leave a mark, man, because
Yeah.
when I'm gone and I can't take none of this shit with me, and whatever we work for and the tangible things we get while we're here, I want to leave a mark on people. I want people to look at my kids and grandkids and say, man, your dad, granddad, brother was that dude, and he really did this for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I chase, significance, man. That's more
Word.
important to me.
I agree, bro. I agree. I
So
would say significant, and I've asked many people this in my life, man, and you get different answers from different people, man. Some people will say success. Some people say significance, man. It just depends on where you're at in your life, what your personal definition
right.
is of those two things, those two words. And, it's different for a lot of people, man. So, that's one of those questions I like to, ask people and see. And there's no wrong answer. You know what I'm saying?
No,
There's
it's
no
not.
wrong answer. It's
It's
how you
not.
feel. It's how you feel. But I like
Yeah.
to see people's take on it. So what is what's your take on, the key to longevity in music, man? What do you think that key is to stay in this game?
Just being you. Being
Or
you. You know, one thing I did, and I still do it to this day, I study the greats, man. And after studying, you emulate the greats. You know what I mean? Like you look at your Nas, your Jay-Z's, and you just mentioned 15 years. The average stay in hip hop is 3 to 5. Successfully making money and living
yeah,
how you
yeah, yeah,
live,
yeah.
bro. You know what I'm saying? You didn't do that chasing a trend. You didn't
Mm-hmm.
do. I look at okay. And this is no knock to people who did this. This is no knock to people who did this. So when you take music and there's waves in music, there's phases, there's trends. You look. These are how it changed, right? The 2000s, the early 2000s. You had and they made a lot of money doing this, but you had your crunk sound,
Yeah.
your Lil
Yep.
Johns, and
Yep.
you feel me? Your Lil Johns and the East Side Boys, they made a living. They changed their lives. Don't get me wrong, but that was a wave in hip hop. And then
Yep.
after that, you had the big T-shirt wearing motherfuckers that was the Casio shit.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That Then you had that era, that phase, and then after that you had another phase. But right along those phases, there was the Scarfaces, the Jay Z's, the Nas's, and they still
Mm-hmm.
with us to this day.
But you know what
30
that is,
years
right?
later,
You know what that is.
consistency,
There you go, bro. There you go. That's exactly what that
consistency,
is.
bro.
Yep. Yep. That's the key right
So
there.
So that's what it is. Cause being myself, being me, and sticking to my guns and not following those trends. It's cool to follow the trends if you know you're gonna do it and you want to change your parents' life. You had the 2 Chainz,
Mm-hmm.
the fucking T-Pain era. And this is
Mm-hmm.
no knock to none of these artists. This is no knock to none of them, but it's just these are phases in hip hop
Yeah.
that's changed. Like, the way we fell in love with drill has changed.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different type of drill now.
It don't even sound the same anymore. Yeah, it don't
It
sound the
don't.
same at all.
It don't. So that just goes to the point we trying to make. But being yourself, man, being yourself consistently. You know what I'm
Absolutely,
saying?
bro.
And that's what it's about. You gotta be yourself
Staying on
consistently,
that, you just staying on
even
that
when
straight line. Stay on that straight line. You know, while everybody is doing this, you just on that straight line going through, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
be
that's,
yourself.
you know,
Be
and
yourself.
yeah, without a doubt, consistency. I
Picture
tell
me
people,
on some Wu-Tang shit, and then I switch it up trying to follow the wave, and goddamn it, I got fucking 7X white tees on. You know what I'm saying? Dancing the Casio beats. You know,
yeah.
no knock to
Nah,
them,
man.
but
Nah,
it's
you lose a
true.
lot of respect with that, man. As far as like, you know, just that switch up, man, and you also lose reliability. You know, that's a big thing. You know that you know your fans want. You know, and they want the reliability factor. They want to know that you can produce what they're looking for when they're looking for it. And again,
Facts.
when it comes to relatable music, you know, giving them that feeling that they need to get through.
Yeah.
You know,
And
so
when your fans can't rely on you no more,
nah, man, it's not a good
it's
thing,
over.
bro. It's not a
Not
good
over.
thing, man.
So
Yo,
that
so
that
what?
that's that.
Yeah, no, that's super important, bro. And then and that's just like I said, reliability and I'll say this every day of my life. I'll say this in every podcast. I'll say it. It's all about consistency and reliability. Those two things are the cornerstone of trust. The
Yeah.
cornerstone of trust. You know, and that's what your fans and your supporters want from you, so they can trust you. They want to trust you. They want to trust that the music that you're going to put out is going to be for them and for them at, you know, at all times. So yeah, man. Yo, what do you want to be remembered for, man? You know, what is your lasting impression as an artist? What do you want to be remembered for?
Just that dude that was fun to be around, man. That
No,
was
no, no.
fun to
Not
be
as a man.
around.
Not as a man. Not as a man. But
Okay.
as an artist.
I want to be known as one of the realest to ever touch the stage, the most impactful. You know, I can touch people from all walks of life. I want to be remembered for as Philmore Greene, this guy that gave us all this good music and made us feel this way. And be honest, bro, I don't even know the answer to that. I can't even make up an answer for that right now. What
Yeah.
I want to be remembered for, because I'm still carving my way, man. I'm still carving my way, and as I sit here right now, life is life is life is my life has changed in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Along with the bad, it's all changed in a good way. So I'm still
Yeah.
searching for that answer, bro. I'm still
Okay.
searching for that answer, and I don't know if I get it this year, next year, but I know it when I get it, but I don't know
Yeah.
the answer, bro. That's the first time I ever sat and tried to think of an answer. Like I don't got the answer for it right now. You know what I'm
No, you
saying?
got
I could just be
you'll get that answer. You'll definitely get that answer, bro.
yeah.
You know,
I'm
what you
just
want to be
being.
known
You
for,
got me on that one. You got me on
you
that one.
know. Just your lasting impression as an artist. What about as a man? What do you want to be known for?
Just making people feel good, man. I guess that can go as an artist as well.
True,
Making
true.
people feel good when I'm in the room, when you hear my voice, when you see me, you smile. This big motherfucker, we finna laugh, we finna have some fun, we finna crack jokes, we gonna eat good. You know what I'm saying? Just making people feel comfortable and making people feel comfortable with being vulnerable. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I bring vulnerability with me. I tell you all the things. Before we made cost of living, you told me, man, you said I need you to get a little personal on this one, a little bit more personal on this one. And
absolutely, man.
that's when I spoke about mental health, and that's when I spoke about the things that I saw, and I called my homegirl Raquel and asked her for her blessings to make a song about Lil Tony. You know what I'm saying? And you know, rest in peace to him. You know, I got so vulnerable. There's stories on that album people don't even know about. Someday I'll break it down, but making people. So I guess I'm answering both questions, man. As a man in
Okay.
hip hop.
Okay.
There it is, man. Just just making people feel the vulnerability and feel good with themselves and as well as me. When you see me,
Yeah.
you put a smile on your face, knowing this is a good dude, on and off the mic.
There you
Pause.
go. That's important, man. Just to be a a good human, bro, like a kind human being, a good stand up dude.
For
You know,
sure.
I pride myself on that as well, man. I don't ever want to go out somebody, you know, saying, yo, that dude was shiesty, he was sneaky, he was always trying to get over. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I'm a good stand up dude. And you know, I take care of my business and you know, I'm nice to people, I'm kind to people. You know, I teach my kids to, you know, you got to be a kind human being, man. That's what it's all about, man. Just being a good person, knowing right from wrong, you know, knowing
Yeah.
how to treat people, you know, being respectful and respectable. Two different
Facts.
things. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So, and yeah, man, I'm all about that, bro. So, what are what are some like short insights, man, and advice that you would give young artists trying to break into the game?
You're young. You are young. Gamble. Take risk.
There you go.
Take risk, bro. You're young. You're not 38, 39, 40, or Apollo's age 62. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
take,
man, if
take
only they
risk.
knew, if only they knew what, hey man, I'm not even gonna put it out there, bro. But if only they knew, man.
Take risk, man. Hustle. Hustle. Give things a
Absolutely.
shot. Give things a give new shit a try. You know, take risk. Gamble. Gamble with your ideas. You know, put your money up. You know, gamble
Word.
with your ideas and your vision, you know, because you got room to make a mistake. You don't have bills. You may not have kids. You may not have the level of responsibility you're going to have 15, 20 years from now. So gamble and take risk. Gamble with your ideas and your vision. And you know, you could be a motherfucker that shoot dice. You're gonna roll. You're gonna win sometime.
Sometimes, yeah, yeah,
You
absolutely.
feel me? So gamble with your ideas while you still got the room to do it, because it's gonna be a point in time in your life. You know, you're gonna get a certain age when gambling is it's a real gamble. You
Yeah,
feel me?
yeah.
You don't got to bounce back like you were when you're 19. So take risks, travel, go to these fucking cities. If you from Chicago and you the lockdown sub T in Chicago, take your ass to Milwaukee and find a sub T in Milwaukee and lock that motherfucker down too. Take your ass to the other nearest city in Indiana. Lock that motherfucker down. Lock the sub T in Indiana down. Go to motherfucking Detroit. Find a GQ in Detroit. Get cool with him. Tell him to take you to the sub T in Detroit. Lock that down. Take
Mm-hmm.
risk and move around, bro. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I would tell a youth, man. Like, take your risk while you can, and you don't have the responsibility to not bounce back the way you would if you were that young age. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm gonna switch this. I'm gonna switch this around. I'm gonna switch this question a little bit, and this is my last question of the night.
Cool.
So, same question, but what are the insights and advice you might give an artist that's already a legend? One of these old heads out here that's already a legend. They've done it all. And I present this question because I feel like because the times have changed, it's changed a lot. And some of them they haven't quite learned how to adapt. You know what I'm saying? They haven't learned how to move around and or learn how to work with and not against the younger generation. So what's the advice that you would give, you know, the legends out here?
Respect the youth, listen to the youth, and study the times, because the youth right now, they going to put you on. They're gonna put you on to what you need to be doing and how shit working, because shit change. You know,
Absolutely.
you look at the times when motherfuckers like you when in the golden era time, they were listening to cats like Marvin and you know and all those. If they you had cats like let's say the Whispers. The Whispers are they're a group. They were out in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
They had that feel. They had that feel, the 70s, that soul feel. But they somebody told them like, nah, it's 80 something.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
snares are sounding different. These snares have got different claps to them. We gotta change this shit up. Y'all gotta sound damn near like full force around this motherfucker. Y'all gotta, let's change this shit up. You gotta
And they
change the
changed it up too.
sound. You have to.
As the beat
So
goes on. Whoo.
you have to change.
Classic.
You gotta listen. You don't have to compromise, but you gotta, if you wanna listen to the youth. So they listen to somebody who's paying attention to the sound and paying attention to the change and the shift, and they took heed to it. So listen to the youth and study whatever it is they tell you to do and what's popping. Like social media. You gotta listen to the youth, man. Listen to the youth because the youth gonna tell you the truth. It's like a fucking baby that's, I seen a baby tell a lady one time, we were in public and the lady was talking and the baby told her breath stunk.
Yeah, they gonna tell you like it is.
They gonna tell it like it is. So
yeah.
Man, you got to listen. It was embarrassing to her, but shit, I bet she went back home and got that shit in order.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So you gotta listen to the youth, bro. Once you listen to the youth and you really tap into what they gotta say and do, you can't lose, man.
Makes sense, bro. Yo, man, tell everybody where they can find you, bro, on all platforms.
Pornhub, Philmore. No, I'm just playing.
Yikes, bro. Yikes, man. Sheesh.
Nah. Philmore Greene, Philmore, and Greene with an E at the end on all streaming platforms, all DSPs. You can find me all over the place, man. Philmore Greene, once again, Philmore and Greene with an E at the end. That's all social media platforms.
Word, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. You know, it's a blessing to have you as a friend, to have you as a hip hop contributor in this world. Man, you my guy. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. And I'm sure I'll see you soon, man.
For sure, man. Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, bro.
Man, this is beautiful. You need to put some of those new posters up in the basement too, man.
Oh, I will. Some of the new ones. I got them.
Some new frames up there, man.
I got them.
You done traveled a little more, man. Come on,
I got them. Yeah.
What we doing? Thank you for having me, bro. This is beautiful.
Absolutely, man. Everybody out there, take care. Peace.